Well, welcome to day 10. You've made it all the way to 10, which means we're going back. Now we're going to start building up again. This is Kim, medium Kim, who is with me, and she is here to help open the door. What we're going to do is open the door, look at the stone, and then we're going to come back and talk about how she feels like this fits in her life. We're going to the box now. Okay, this is the 10th, and flip the door open. Yay, it opened. Sometimes these doors get a little bit tricky on me. And you got an interesting stone. If I can ever get it out of the box, apparently it wants to do everything but exit. It's hesitant. Star is born. This is called a yolk stone. And a yolk stone, we're gonna thank the Mother Earth. We're all thankful to our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. She gives us the joy that she continues to care for us as she has been from the beginning of time. In all the forms life has been here. To our Mother, we send greetings and thanks. And now our minds are blended as one to look to the Mother. And yolk stone, everybody goes, what? It kind of looks like this is a tumbled stone. And it comes from a fascinating part of the Kennedy Ranges of Western Australia. That's where these stones come from. And their formal name is Mookaite, and it's Mookaite. And it's a form of a jasper. And when the Mookaite come out with this yellowy color in them, they're called yolk stones. And you can see why, because it is believed that these egg-shaped crystals are a powerful tool for people who desire to start a new, fresh chapter in their life. They bring about miracles and magics that smooth the transitions and complete the transformations. For many, it symbolizes eggs, as in eggs in rebirth. Like many varieties of jasper, the Mookaite is a nurturing stone that helps alleviate stress. It's associated with personal growth and transformation. Its energy encourages a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. It can unlock your full potential, allowing you to become the best version of yourself. And that's important for us to understand that we can do that. Mookaite has been described as a chert, an opalite, a chalcedony, or a combination of those three. But actually, it's form of agate. It forms in the creek beds and the creeks lay down multiple layers of soil, and then the compression and the heat. Mookites can go from every color from red to bright purple, mustard yellow, cream, white, black, everything in between. And the term Mookaite comes from Mooka, the Aboriginal word for running waters. And these are found in riverbeds. And that's part of how they form. From a metaphysical point of view, it helps encourage decision making, versatility and flexibility, helps fight laziness and procrastination. We'll keep this on the top of my desk this week. Enhancing dream recall and promoting meaningful dreams. If you see on Aboriginal necklaces stones that are put together, those are generally Mooka stones that come from that place. Promote a deep understanding of inner peace and serenity. All in all, it enhances self-assurance and belief in oneself. And that's your stone.
Wonderful. So, I love the description.
I know. I have 3 bags of Mooka stones in my crystals that I use for my grids. And that's what they're there for. They're to help bring in self-assurance and new understanding of yourself.
Yeah.
They're when stones go through the kind of transformation it does, from clay to being compacted and to being made into a crystalline form of jasper, that is a transformation. So it embodies what it's trying to tell us. So what you
I
got
love
going on, Ms. Kim?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, really it resonates in so many ways for me, what you just said.
Mhm.
And first of all, thank you for this is fun. Um, well, I'm drawn to the water first.
Mhm.
And I feel, well, there's a lot of stuff going on with the water. Water to me is ancient. It's not, it's universal and it carries wisdom. It's almost like seeds to me, water, from the cosmos. And so when we come together, when we feel that oneness with the water, we can find that oneness within ourselves that holds the wisdom to the cosmos.
Mhm.
So it reminds me of that, being in touch with water, but
Mhm.
also in touch with the a new birth of not just us, but I feel like when I say new birth, I feel like it's in the heart. This is the birth of the heart, but it's connected so much to the earth. And, as we are one with earth, our
Mhm.
heart is being reborn. There's no way we can get through this time without being reborn. We are tumbling through this. We are like being tumbled in almost like in a rock tumbler,
Mhm.
all of us. And so as we are in this rock tumbler, we're going to come out. Let's hope we went in a little rough and we come out a little smoother.
Mhm.
And let's hope that this time isn't too long, that we're still
Yeah.
alive. You know what I mean? That we can transform through this tumbly time
Mhm.
and come out shiny. And that reminds me of my shiny. I've got shiny sword.
Yes.
But I use this sometimes I feel like I hold it like this and I work with the energies of the sky.
Mhm.
And then, I just think of the energies going down to the earth, this whole connection here. And this is all of us are doing this,
Mhm.
whether we know it or not. Our cells are vibrating,
Mhm.
you know, to match whatever's coming. And I feel like some of us are more sensitive,
Mhm.
becoming ultra sensitive, perhaps, maybe a little too sensitive. And because we're feeling a bit like this,
Mhm.
that it's not so stable.
Yeah, you have to go inside and find that quiet pool inside yourself, you know,
Yeah.
to make it through. Because last spring at spring solstice, I was out talking to my ley line tree Hogarth, and I went out to see him, and he hadn't sprouted any of his cute little green things. He has lots of gnarls on his trunk, and I said, "Oh, you don't have any shoots coming out of your gnarls?" And he said, "Come back tomorrow." And so I said, "Okay, well, I'll see." Came back the next day, and they were out about this long. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
and I said, "You've changed." He said, "We are all changing." And I said, "That fast?" He said, "That fast and faster."
Whoa. Yes. Woohoo.
So,
Like light, changing like light, like the speed of light, even, or faster than the speed of light. Maybe it's not even the speed of light. It's just,
well, it's the speed of the solstices right now. We're going to the winter solstice on the 21st, which will happen while we're in the Advent calendar. And that's part of what Advent calendars really are about. They're about going from through building up to the darkest day, the longest night, and then coming out of it. And that's kind of what we're all doing. And we're all trying to figure out, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What do I need to become aware of? Because a weakness is only a weakness as long as you're not aware of it. Otherwise, it's an opportunity to grow.
uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. And I heard somebody say something about when the heart is broken, it's a way to break out of an old
Mhm.
pattern.
Well, somebody told me when I was going through a heartbreak, and she was an astrologer actually, and she said, a broken heart is a bigger heart. It has more room.
Oh, nice.
And I think
Lovely.
we're not seeing things the way we wanted them to. We're not seeing them all line up, maybe. We're gonna have, and so this is a chance for us to look at reality,
Hmm.
you know, what really is going on.
Yeah, I feel like reprogramming in a certain way when you said that.
Yes,
Something about reprogramming.
we are. And it and we're not all going to reprogram at the same rate, but there is going to be, it's just like with anything else, there will become a critical mass. And when that critical mass is reached, then we can move ahead with leaps and bounds. Sometimes when people, sometimes I look back at the hardest, most painful things in my life that I had to kind of get through. And I didn't have really healthy coping skills. One time, well, when I separated from my first husband, and now I knew it was me and I was going to be there with two little kids. And I didn't realize it, but what I built around myself was a shell, just so I could put up the mask of keeping going every day. And then one day, it was in the spring after this has all started in the late fall, early winter. In the spring, I was standing outside, walking out with some coworkers, and I felt the wind blow against my skin. And I realized I had been in such a shell that I couldn't even feel the wind. And I said, "Oh my God, that was a breeze." And they all looked at me like I was nuts. Well, it was nuts to them, but it was great for me because I realized that I was going to get beyond having to be that protected.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
So,
Wow. And even when I think of this community and how we protect each other, I
yeah.
feel, uh, which is good. We need this. We need this security blanket around us as we go forward. I feel like as in the community, we're the way showers, all of us here in
Mm-hmm.
this part of this community. And it's nice to have those wings of protection around us from each other.
And it's not just our community here. There's a man named Tim who's going to be on one of the later shows. He's a house healer. He's a he works with ground energies,
Uh-huh.
and he does a lot. He's got tools like you have that help get things cleaned up. And Tim sent me. I said, if you is there something you'd like me to put in as a paragraph, because very few of you, I'm sure, have seen Tim unless you saw him on my channel, because he doesn't cross the channel much, and he's not across the channel. Doesn't zoom across the channel much. And Tim said to me in his explanation, he said, edit this any way you want. But one of the things he said is when he was a photographer, and he was an industrial photographer, and he made films for businesses and made documentaries and stuff. And all of a sudden, when the ground started talking to him, and when he was working with a guy named Hamish Miller, who works with ley lines and elementals, which are fairies and sprites and all the things your parents told you didn't see when you were little, but you did. Um, he said, I thought I was going nuts. I went to a friend of mine and I said, I think I'm going to end up in the hospital. And, who's going to take care of the family? Who's going to pay the bills? And the guy said, You're not nuts. They are all around us.
Mhm.
And it reminds me of a friend of mine who is on this side of the Atlantic, who said when she first started having, oh dear, when she first started having the spirits come and speak to her, um, she went to a friend and said, I gotta go get a brain scan. I have a brain tumor. And her friend said, You don't have a brain tumor. You're fine. It's gonna be okay. And so uh and I've heard that story from so many people. I just started out being who I am so young. I never went through I'm that kind of a phase, like
Yeah.
I think I need meds. I used to always say to people, they medicate people for what I see, but I know it's real, so I'm not taking the damn pill.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
don't, use whatever sources you need to settle yourself. But we are going to make it through this, and we're gonna become better people on the other end of it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that reassurance because I know we are all thinking, oh, maybe this is one of those Christmases to remember, or Decembers to remember, like
Mhm.
this is going to stand out. This one will stand out.
Well, I hope it stands out in people's minds because they remember the lovely days that came at 11:11 in the morning Central Time, and found a new stone. And you're finding, you'll hear about a stone and you'll realize that's maybe a stone I need. Everything I'm showing you is commercially available, and they're not expensive. So if you hit something that says it's really expensive, keep looking. It's not.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking I'm going to get one of these.
Mm-hmm. They're
Mhm.
wonderful soothing stones. And they've been washed over by water. And they're some of the oldest stones in the world, some of the oldest rocks we have evidence of life and existence on the earth are in Australia.
Oh, okay.
So it's old, old, old stuff, guys. It's old
Yeah.
energy.
Part of the Lemurian
Yeah, it was part
plans.
of the archipelago that they had. Well, they had.
Uh-huh.
I was told by an Akashic Records person, since I don't specifically remember it, but I was there. And,
Uh-huh.
nothing
Yeah.
surprises me anymore.
Right,
Well,
right.
some things do. When my guides say, okay, you're going to go take a nap, womp, and they, you know, put me offline. Literally, my guides put me offline. They disconnected my chakras. The only one that was functioning was my throat. That's what happened after election night. The third eye and the crown were, they were there, but they were just muffled. And everything else below me, from the person who helped me go through the healing to get over it, was hanging by strings. It was like my whole, and that's exactly how my lower body felt. I couldn't walk. If I hadn't had the canes I had from when I had my knees fixed, I would have been able to walk. I couldn't stand up straight. I couldn't look at anything, you know.
Wow.
And within a few chakra clearings and realignings, we found out that all my chakras, and she had looked at me 2 weeks before and everything was fine. It was election
Interesting.
night. It went all,
Wow. Ooh,
and so some energy passed through us on or around the election day. And it's not, I mean, you can heal from it, but you need to be aware if you're still feeling, and some of you got aligned. That's the message I got is, yeah, for you, we had to take you off circuit for a while. But for everybody else, for a lot of other people, they got aligned. And now I've told the story because I heard about it since all that happened. I have a person who studied tarot with me, and she was telling me a story how she went to an office. It was like a business thing she had to do. And she went to the office and she knows a receptionist, and they were talking, and the receptionist had LASIK surgery that once went a little wonky, something they could fix. But she said the last 3 months have been just awful for me. So they were walking down the hall to go to the meeting room she was supposed to meet in. And my student grabbed the woman's arm and said, whoa. And what she'd seen was a ghostly like snake, a big one, just go across the hallway. And the woman said, what happened? And she said, oh, she said, I don't. And finally the woman said, what happened? She said, well, I saw this long, snaky figure go across the hallway. She said, I have no idea. It was just a trick of the light or whatever. And the woman said, no, that was what was wrong with her vision from LASIK. She was
wow.
seeing what was in that woman's mind. And she said, I guess I am waking up. They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So many are.
So many people are. And they, and you've got a choice. You can either, well, I don't know how many have a choice. My choice would be to stay and be awake because, but it's still up to the person, how awake they want to be.
Yeah,
And
yeah. But I think you're right. Mhm.
mookaite and the egg yolk, in particular the egg yolk, that's a particular type of mookaite that has that little yellow top. It looks like an egg. That's a particular stone for rebirthing. So
Okay, well, I love it because I feel like I want to do that for myself as well, not just Earth, but I know when we do it within us, then it happens
well,
to the Earth.
you just have to open up, go down, find the quiet pool, and decide I'm born from here and go on.
Oh, nice. Aw,
Thank you, Kim, for
thank you.
and
Thank you. That's beautiful.
we'll see you tomorrow on day 11.
Okay.